You know that one song? Yeah, the one you've had on a loop for, what, the past 3 days? Well, we're about to dive into the powerful psychological reasons your brain does that. And I'll give you a hint, it might just be one of the smartest things your brain does for you.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You find a song, and suddenly, for the next week, it's the only thing that exists. And maybe a little part of you starts to wonder, am I getting a little weird here? Well, it turns out it's not just some random quirk. It's actually something way more interesting. See, the common myth is that it's just a weird obsession. But what psychology is showing us is that hitting that replay button is actually a powerful subconscious tool. It's especially true if you've got a really active mind. It's your brain's clever way of managing anxiety, getting focused, and just processing the world around you. So let's break it down. We're going to explore these 6 powerful psychological reasons your brain latches onto that one song. We'll uncover how it's using music as a super precise tool for self-regulation. Okay, first up, control. If you're someone who tends to overthink, your brain is constantly, and I mean constantly, trying to predict what's going to happen next. It's a safety thing. But the real world, it's messy and unpredictable, and that nonstop uncertainty is a huge source of stress. So the brain goes looking for something it can predict. And guess what? A familiar song is the perfect answer. You know exactly when that beat is going to drop. You know when the chorus will hit, how it's going to feel, how it's going to end. This perfect predictability, it creates this comforting little bubble of control and safety. And it instantly calms your nervous system down because for a few minutes, your brain gets a break from trying to guess what happens next. All right, reason number 2 is kind of like putting soundproofing on your mind. You know, deep thinking is often tied to having heightened senses. This means your brain might be picking up on everything. The hum of the lights, a conversation down the hall, someone tapping their foot, and man, that can be exhausting. So, when you pop in those headphones and loop a track, you're basically creating an auditory shield. It's brilliant, really. You're using that one predictable song as a mental anchor to just block out all the extra noise. It gives your mind a safe, quiet space to decompress so you can actually hear yourself think. And that leads us right into reason number 3, using music to hack your brain into a state of deep focus. You know, what they call a flow state. That's when you're so absorbed in what you're doing that time just kind of melts away. Just think about it for a sec. A new playlist takes up mental energy, right? Your brain has to process all the new lyrics, new rhythms, new everything. But a song on repeat, after a while, it just fades into the background. It becomes this steady, reliable rhythm. And that's what lets your mind finally lock in, freeing up all that precious brain power to solve tough problems without getting sidetracked. Okay, reason number 4 is a big one. This is all about how we use music to process really intense emotions. You know, the kinds that are so complicated or overwhelming, you can't even find the words for them. And that's exactly where a song can step in. So first, it just perfectly captures that complicated feeling you're dealing with. Then, by playing it over and over, you're creating this controlled, safe space to explore that feeling without it taking over. The music basically becomes an emotional release valve, letting you work through all this tension you might not have even known you were carrying. The 5th reason, well, it's all about saving energy. And let's be honest, brain chemistry. Our brains are hardwired to want rewards, and one of its absolute favorites is that feel-good chemical, dopamine. Now, think about the effort it takes to find a new song you love. You have to search, listen, judge, and when you're already mentally tired, your brain's just not having it. It doesn't want to do all that work. Replaying a favorite song is the path of least resistance. It's the easiest, most efficient way to get a guaranteed, high-quality dopamine hit with absolutely zero extra effort. It's a no-brainer. And finally, number 6. Now, this one is huge for anyone who has ever felt stuck in their own head. You're using music to literally interrupt a rumination loop. So what even is rumination? It's that awful mental hamster wheel, right? It's when you replay past conversations over and over again, or you keep questioning a decision you made, or you're just worrying about the future. It's an exhausting, spiraling thought pattern that can feel impossible to break out of. Well, a familiar, repetitive song acts like a mental circuit breaker. Its predictable structure, the verse, the chorus, the bridge, it forces your brain to follow its path instead of your own stressful, spiraling monologue. It's like a quick mental reboot that breaks that cycle and helps you get back in control. So when you pull all of this together, this really empowering truth starts to emerge. This whole habit, it isn't some weird quirk you need to feel bad about.
It's actually a sign of a really complex mind at work. Honestly, it's a skill.
So the next time you find yourself letting that one song play for, I don't know, the 10th time in a row, don't judge yourself. Instead, just take a second to appreciate what your brain is actually doing. It's intelligently using sound to regulate your nervous system, to protect your peace from all that overload, and to create the perfect environment for you to think deeply. So it makes you think, doesn't it? That last song you had on repeat, what was it a tool for? Was it calming your anxiety, helping you focus, or maybe processing some big emotion? What's your brain's secret tool right now?